Okay, Alex, today we are going to talk about communication. And I will tell you right now, every company that I've ever worked at, every group that I've ever been a part of, the number one suggestion to make things better is always increase communication. So I want to talk to you about communication specifically in the mortgage process with real estate agents, et cetera. But let's talk about how you're handling communication with some of your agents.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that Tiffany and I have always talked about, and Tiffany being the partner. We've
Absolutely.
always talked about how we're going to communicate with our agents, what their pain points were. And that's one of the biggest things we've always heard is communication, communication, communication. So whether it was good communication or bad
True.
communication, it was something that we always wanted to make sure that we delivered it to them, in a timely manner too.
Absolutely.
So one of the biggest things for us is, we try to make sure that we're communicating from the start with our agents, whether it's, hey, we're getting ready to do the application, we're getting ready to submit it to underwriting, we're going to submit it for a TBD, so that way the customer's approved. Then all you're doing is going out and looking for a house, get a contract. Once the contract is in, then we take it to the next step. So we do that. Something else that we started doing also is the statusgrams, where we
Yeah.
send statusgrams every week. So that way both agents are fully aware of where we are in the process. And I've actually won some agents that way too, by doing the statusgrams.
Absolutely. I think that's a fantastic idea. And, and once you get in the practice of that, which you have, people expect that, they learn to expect that statusgram every week for all their active deals. And it only helps reduce the number of questions that you get outside of that process. And also lets everybody, have a comfort level that everybody's on the same page.
Oh,
I really
absolutely.
like it.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things with the communication too was being able to get our realtors logged into Simple Nexus apps.
Oh,
That
yes.
has been huge. Some of them kind of like gave me the cold shoulder at first about it because they were like, "Oh, it's another app. It's something else that we got to keep up with." And then when they saw like, "Hey, the customer submitted the app. Hey, the customer's approved. Hey, we're in
Yeah.
final underwriting. Hey, we're clear to close." They're like, "Wow, this is amazing. I didn't have to wait for you to call me to tell me. I could just see it myself."
I
So I
love
think
that.
that being part of our communication, that was huge too.
Absolutely. Hey, I got a question for you. Have you ever had an agent ever in your life say that you communicated too much?
No. No,
Hey,
actually, I've had agents say that they were very thankful for the over communication at times,
good.
just because we tell the agents first before we call the client. We tell the agents, and we tell the agents why? Because if I tell the client first, then the client's going to go to the agent. Agent's going
Yep.
to call me and say, "What is going on?" So
Yep.
we try to communicate with the agents first, then we communicate with the client. So that way, if the client were to call the agent, agent knows exactly what's going on. And there's been times too where, we've had to communicate some bad news to the agents,
Mhm.
and they've come up with some great ideas of how we could fix it
Love
and
that.
turn it around, which is part of the communication process. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's helped out a
Teamwork,
lot.
right?
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's when you have true partnerships is when you reach out and you can have a conversation, you can talk about where we stand and you can come up with ideas. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's where you see the magic happen.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And it actually flows exactly with one of the things that I like to coach on is every time you touch the client, touch the agent. I like your take on it, where you're actually every time you touch the agent, you touch the client, or actually to make it even better, every time you're going to touch the client, you touch
Right.
the agent before you touch the client. I love that. I think
Yeah.
it's
No, I
fantastic.
think it's worked out for everyone, and it's worked out for us too. Because like I said, if I have to deliver negative information, I'd rather the agent know upfront than find out
Yeah,
from the client and not from me directly.
yeah.
So it's definitely worked out.
And I will tell you, I learned a long time ago that bad news travels better quickly. Yeah, it's
Yes.
It unfortunately in this business, the worst part of this business is telling somebody that they can't qualify for what they want to.
Yes.
But if you tell them that up front versus, letting them, having them string along and think that there's something going on and there's not, bad news travels quicker, better.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, any other advice on communication? Let's talk about I know we've kind of gotten on all of it, right? But I know you do the statusgrams, and those are weekly. I know that you call your agents before you call your clients. Love that. Is there any other one piece of advice that you might be able to throw out there that's really worked for you and Tiffany as a team?
I think it's communication between us two, as a
Yeah.
team. It's been huge for us. I started out at Bank of America, and after leaving there, decided to join forces with Tiffany. So being able to communicate with her as well as how we're doing on the files together, because it's not a one man show.
No.
Her knowing what's going on with all the files helps me too. So if an agent were to contact her, she knows exactly what's going on, and vice versa. If an agent were to contact me, so as far as the team aspect, I mean, communication between us is huge as well. Um,
Yes. And I know that we've got the systems to be able to communicate back and forth and so that both of you can know exactly what's going on with every deal all the time. And that's active files, that's files that are coming up that are starting the process. But I think that that's a huge component that you and Tiffany have that most people don't have. Because let's face it, in this mortgage industry, mostly it's one person shops.
yeah,
But when you've got two people, especially when you've got two people that know each other very, very well and know and trust and love each other, right? You can do magic with that, and it gives agents a second person to call. It
yes.
gives clients a second person to call. I've seen that work out really well over time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No,
Yep,
it's worked out great for us, and it works out great for our clients because they know that they have two loan officers working on their loan. So they're well taken care of.
absolutely. Two for the price of one, right? Love it, Alex. Well, thank you very much. All great advice and great points. So thank you, my friend.
Absolutely.